In the late 1980s, the world of cinema was about to change forever. Japanese animation, often overlooked outside its homeland,
this is the original Japanese tankobon collection,
was seen as niche, quirky, and sometimes even childish by Western standards. But in 1988, one film would erupt like an atomic blast, rewriting the rules of storytelling, visual artistry, and cultural impact. That film was Akira. With a record-breaking budget, hand-drawn detail never seen before, and a dark cyberpunk vision of the future, Akira stunned audiences across the globe. This wasn't just another animated feature, it was a revolution. From its ambitious director, Katsuhiro Otomo, to its troubled production, to the way it influenced films like The Matrix, Inception, and even Stranger Things, the legacy of Akira has been nothing short of world-changing. And today, we're diving into the untold story, the fascinating facts, and the legacy that makes Akira one of the greatest animated films ever created. Welcome to Animated Realms, the film the studio didn't believe. In every legendary film begins with doubt, and Akira was no exception. In the mid-1980s, director Katsuhiro Otomo had already made a name for himself as a manga artist. His manga Akira, serialized in Young magazine starting in 1982, was an underground sensation. With its gritty dystopian themes, political commentary, and kinetic action, the manga quickly gained a cult following. But the idea of adapting it into a film was something studios considered a financial risk. At the time, anime films were made cheaply.
Sí, claro. Primero derriba un payaso.
Often serving as quick tie-ins for popular manga or TV series. Budgets rarely surpassed a few million yen, but Otomo refused to compromise. He wanted to capture Akira's dystopian Neo-Tokyo with the full scale, detail, and complexity it deserved. To achieve this, over 10 studios pooled resources, forming what was known as the Akira Committee. It was an unprecedented move. No single studio wanted to shoulder the risk, so this collective was formed to share the costs and profits. The budget ended up being nearly 1.1 billion yen, around $10 million at the time, making it the most expensive animated film ever produced in Japan. But executives were terrified. Could such a dark, violent, and political film really find an audience? The studio didn't believe in the vision, but Otomo did, and that belief would prove historic. Building Neo-Tokyo, the animation revolution. The city is the real star of Akira. Neo-Tokyo isn't just a backdrop, it's alive. Every neon sign, every crumbling wall, every shadowed alley tells a story. And to achieve this, Otomo and his animators used techniques that were revolutionary at the time. The detail, the film used 160,000 animation cells, more than double what most animated films of the era used. Each cell was hand-painted, meaning every flicker of neon light, every motorbike skid, every explosion was crafted by human hands. The colors. Akira also pioneered the use of pre-scored dialogue, meaning the voice actors recorded their lines first, and the animation was timed to match their performances. This was the reverse of standard anime production, giving characters more realistic mouth movements and expressions. Over 327 different colors were used in the film, 50 of which were specially created for Akira. The most famous of these was the glowing neon reds that lit up Kaneda's motorcycle and the city's pulsating skyline. The motion, Otomo demanded realism. Motorcycles had to look like they weighed hundreds of pounds, explosions had to ripple with physical force, and psychic powers had to feel terrifying. Animators studied physics, explosions, and motorbike mechanics to bring authenticity to every frame. The result was a film that didn't just look futuristic, it felt futuristic. The cast and voices behind the chaos. While much of the spotlight goes to the visuals, the cast of Akira brought the soul to this dark, dystopian tale. Kaneda Shotaro, voiced by Mitsuo Iwata. Kaneda, the brash leader of a biker gang, is equal parts rebel and hero. Iwata brought both his youthful energy and emotional range to the role. Tetsuo Shima, voiced by Nozomu Sasaki.
それほど遠い先のことで、また私たちもすごく若かった。
Tetsuo's tragic transformation from a powerless delinquent into a godlike, destructive force is one of the greatest character arcs in anime. Sasaki delivered a performance filled with pain, rage, and desperation. K, voiced by Mami Koyama, K is a freedom fighter drawn into the chaos, representing resilience and hope. Colonel Shikishima, voiced by Taro Ishida, the gruff military officer trying to contain Neo Tokyo's destruction. The English dub, released in 1989, became a cult hit in the West, though some fans preferred the later 2001 Pioneer dub, which stuck closer to the original Japanese script. Regardless, the cast, both Japanese and English, helped cement Akira as a global phenomenon. Behind the scenes, facts you didn't know. Here are some lesser-known facts about Akira. 1. Otomo never planned to adapt the entire manga. The manga was still ongoing during production, so the film's ending diverges heavily, creating its own unique conclusion. 2. The bike that launched 1,000 tributes. Kaneda's red motorcycle is so iconic that it has been referenced in Ready Player One, Batman Beyond, and even Kanye West's music video Stronger. 3rd, sound design ahead of its time. The soundtrack, composed by Geino Yamashirogumi, blended traditional Japanese instruments, chanting, and experimental electronic sounds. It remains one of the most unique anime scores ever made. 4. Influence on Hollywood. Directors like the Wachowskis, The Matrix, Christopher Nolan, Inception, and Guillermo del Toro have cited Akira as an influence. 5. The explosion scene. The film opens and closes with massive explosions that echo Hiroshima and Nagasaki, a deliberate commentary on Japan's trauma with nuclear devastation. Themes: power, corruption, and humanity. At its core, Akira isn't just a sci-fi action film, it's a meditation on power and corruption. Tetsuo's transformation mirrors humanity's struggle with unchecked power, whether political, military, or technological. Neo Tokyo's government reflects the dangers of authoritarian rule and corruption. The psychic children, survivors of past experiments, represent the consequences of science without ethics. The film also raises philosophical questions. What happens when humans attempt to play God? Can absolute power ever be controlled? These themes resonated strongly during the Cold War, but they still ring true today. The global legacy of Akira. When Akira premiered in Japan in July 1988, it performed well domestically, but it was its international release that turned it into a phenomenon. In the US and Europe, Akira became the gateway anime, introducing Western audiences to the idea that animation could be dark, adult, and profound. Without Akira, the West might never have embraced anime as it did in the 1990s and 2000s. Its influence can be seen in countless works. The Matrix's digital reign and cyberpunk aesthetics, Chronicle, 2012, which mirrors Tetsuo's descent into madness. Stranger Things' depiction of psychic children and government experiments. Even today, filmmakers and animators cite Akira as a cornerstone of inspiration, a film that changed everything. More than 3 decades later, Akira remains unmatched. Its animation has aged beautifully, its story continues to provoke debate, and its influence only grows stronger with each passing year. It's not just a film, it's a cultural landmark, a work of art that broke the rules of what animation could be, and in doing so, redefined cinema itself. And for us, revisiting Akira is not just about nostalgia, it's about recognizing the film that dared to imagine the future, and in many ways, created it. This was the untold story of Akira, 1988, the film that revolutionized animation and changed cinema forever. If you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Animated Realms, your home for animated history, hidden stories, and the legends that shaped our screens. Because in every realm of animation, there's always more to discover.